Hey YouTube, welcome back to a brand new Animal Crossing video. So it seems a bunch of new Nintendo patents for the Nintendo Switch 2 have been released and several news outlets are now reporting on them. One in particular appears to be a controller peripheral that would be perfect for Animal Crossing, with the other likely offering some promising news for the retro Animal Crossing games. So if you're excited to take a look, be sure to leave a like on the video as it helps out a bunch, and let's jump straight in. Now it seems somewhere along the way I forgot how exciting it is to be in between Animal Crossing games and how fun it was back in the day discussing what the next Animal Crossing game might be like, what Nintendo are cooking up, and overthinking every single detail in honor of the franchise we love. So in spirit of this, in honor of where my channel came from, and aside of coping, let's take a look at the latest Nintendo patents to surface online and what the impact on Animal Crossing could be. First up, we have this rather unique Joy-Con 2 attachment for a crank and clickable wheel. It appears that the movement of this attachment is tracked by the mouse sensor of the Joy-Con 2, which, as you know, until now are currently used specifically for the mouse controls on Nintendo Switch 2 games and will no doubt become more popular once Metroid Prime 4 releases. Anyway, as you can see, this very much resembles a fishing rod reel of sorts, and many Nintendo fans are already imagining how this could be used and what games would support it, with some popular theories being Zelda and Animal Crossing amongst others, given their connection to in-game fishing. Personally, should this come to fruition one day, I could totally see this being used within the next Animal Crossing game as a way to make fishing even more fun with the family specifically, or as part of other mini-games, if that's the direction they choose to go. Now, it appears it would attach to Joy-Con 2 using magnets, and the handle could obviously be rotated around. I'm sure there's many applications for this, much like the Playdate handheld for example, but on Nintendo Switch 2 at least, fishing mechanics are the most fitting. Honestly, it's actually kind of perfect for Animal Crossing in this regard, and the first thing I thought of when I saw it. Of course, just to be clear, I'm certainly not saying this is purposely designed with Animal Crossing in mind, as Nintendo love to make innovative products just because, and are probably just playing with ideas at the moment, but it's definitely fun to think about. Plus, it's not like Nintendo have been shy when it comes to making peripherals compatible with Animal Crossing in the past. We have of course had the SD memory card, the GBA cable and the Nintendo e-reader, the Wi-Fi dongle, the Wii Speak and the NFC reader, all compatible with Animal Crossing over the years. Anyway, before we move on to the next pattern, which I think you'll love, what do you think about the fishing rod accessory? Would you enjoy using this during a fishing tourney, for example, or some kind of mini game in Animal Crossing? Let us know in the comments. Moving on, just a couple of days ago, it seems the Nintendo patents that showcased an apparent second screen for the Nintendo Switch 2, which you may remember was floating around in the lead up to the launch of the Switch 2, have been updated. In case you don't know what I'm referring to, a Nintendo patent surfaced online a while back, basically showing a detachable screen that snaps onto a handheld, which is where the rumours came from that the Nintendo Switch 2 might have two screens. Anyway, the Nintendo Switch 2 launched, and that clearly wasn't the case, but just a couple of days ago, Nintendo updated their patent for this with all new images. Here it appears to show the two screens connected by a mechanism similar to Joy-Con, with the addition of a hinge so the whole thing can collapse down. Now, most Nintendo patents are just protected ideas and don't really come to fruition, so it's strange to see Nintendo update this particular one, and suggests Nintendo are definitely toying with bringing a second screen into the Nintendo Switch 2 ecosystem somehow. Now, before I highlight what I personally think this is, let's daydream a little and discuss how this could benefit Animal Crossing. We are an Animal Crossing channel after all. Naturally, if Nintendo Switch 2 one day saw a second screen somehow, it would almost certainly be so Nintendo could make use of their dual screen libraries on Nintendo DS and Nintendo 3DS, which as you know include multiple retro Animal Crossing games. Both Animal Crossing Wild World and Animal Crossing New Leaf released on dual screen systems, and outside of directly remaking them, would probably need a second screen if they ever came to the Nintendo Switch 2. So again, if if this device ever came to fruition and suddenly there was a way to play DS and 3DS games on the Switch 2, that would be really exciting for Wild World and New Leaf. Which kind of brings us back around to what I think this pattern may actually be for. I'm not entirely convinced giving the Nintendo Switch 2 a second screen is feasible. It's already a pretty big console, and if Nintendo wanted to, I think using a TV for the top screen and the console for the bottom screen like the Wii U is much more feasible. So I'm leaning more towards this being some kind of Nintendo Switch Online classic controller, like those we've seen for the NES and the GameCube, for example, that would accompany the DS or 3DS should it ever be added to Nintendo Switch Online in the future. So personally, I imagine this to be more of an accessory to help play dual screen games as part of NSO, rather than being a second screen that attaches to the Switch 2, if that makes sense. Either way, this would absolutely be awesome for Animal Crossing if Nintendo did release a dual screen device and bring back DS and 3DS games for Switch 2, and of course eventually added Wild World or New Leaf to Nintendo Switch Online. And just quickly, for the sake of completeness, a second pattern has been made public for another Joy-Con 2 attachment, this time a spinning geared wheel. I personally imagine it to be like the dial on top of an old school camera. Again, I'm sure Nintendo are just playing around with concepts, but if you have any ideas what this particular controller could be used for, let us know in the comments. Of course, as I've mentioned, it's important to remember, whilst these patterns are 100% real, the thought process and theories around them aren't, so take everything with a pinch of salt. That said, whilst the fishing rod accessory may never release, I truly believe Nintendo are working on the best way to bring DS and 3DS games to the Nintendo Switch 2, so a second screen somehow is probably more likely. As always, I'll leave all the original sources and articles I've referenced in this video in the comments below if you want to read more into it. If you made it to this point in the video, be sure to post fishing in the comments just to let me know you did. That would be super awesome. And be sure to include if you'd like to see minigame accessories in the next Animal Crossing game. I'd love to know. Now, if you want to learn what one of the lead Animal Crossing producers has been working on in the lead up to the Nintendo Switch 2 launch, be sure to check out this next video where we break down everything you need to know. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.